and welcome to Emirates News broadcasting from Dubai. I'm Ramia Faraj. The headlines tonight. The Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi orders urgent medical aid to Lebanon to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Dubai waives tens of thousands of dirhams in fines faced by Indians whose visas had expired before March 1st. In the business tonight, companies post half-year earnings, and there are positive numbers coming out of Etihad Airways despite pandemic woes. And in sport, the race to Dubai is staging the first of only 3 major championships this season. The PGA Championship is underway now, but without spectators. Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE Armed Forces, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, has directed that emergency medical aid be dispatched to Lebanon to fight the COVID-19 pandemic under the direction of President His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The medical aid comprised 12 tons of testing devices and medical supplies to support medical workers, personal hygiene and prevention tools, and COVID-19 diagnostic devices. These medical supplies will enable more than 10,000 medical frontline workers to perform their duties and reinforce their efforts to contain the virus. The supply of aid is part of the solidarity campaign with the Lebanese people and the efforts to reduce the intensity of the health crisis there. UAE humanitarian assistance will also aid those affected by the explosion at Beirut port. The country's hospitals were already struggling with the rising number of COVID-19 cases in the country before the massive blast that killed at least 137 people, injured over 5,000, left 300,000 displaced, and destroyed entire areas of the capital. The Emirates Red Crescent will work closely with the Humanitarian Aid Office at the UAE Embassy in Beirut to monitor the aid delivery to priority areas. Dubai has waived tens of thousands of dirhams in fines faced by around 145 Indians whose visas had expired before March 1st. The Indian consulate in Dubai says the waiver was possible thanks to a new system established between the consulate and the UAE authorities to assist Indians during the pandemic. Officials say the applicants whose fines were waived include many who were facing absconding charges and had violated residency laws for years. Abu Dhabi's Department of Municipalities and Transport has carried out a total of 365,000 hours of sterilization in a bid to curb the spread of COVID-19. Equipped with high-tech tools, including self-driving robots, more than 1,100 workers and engineers worked together to sanitize a stretch of 23,000 kilometers. Throughout the sterilization program, more than 4.5 million liters of water were used every day, along with 14,000 liters of disinfectant. What's more, around 48,000 vehicles, including over 6,000 taxis and more than 620 buses, were also sterilized to transport COVID-19 patients across the Emirates. The UAE is at the forefront of research to create an effective COVID-19 vaccine, and the UAE's trials reached a milestone today with the 5,000th volunteer vaccinated. And we're joined by none other than our very own sports editor, Graham Clues, who took the vaccine today. I wonder if you were the 5,000th Clues.
I was quite close. Apparently, while I was there was an announcement to say the 5,000th, hard to say, person was in the building at the time, but I don't know who actually took that
so
vaccine.
it may have been you, in fact. And how do you feel after taking the vaccine?
I feel perfectly fine, perfectly normal, no side effects at all so far. Obviously, psychologically, you're kind of wondering to yourself what is going through your bloodstream at the moment. But yeah, in terms of physical health, I feel as I did before I started.
And tell us about the process from A to Z. What exactly happens? Where do you go? And how does it get done?
So I went to the Abu Dhabi Exhibition Centre, where they've taken over 3 or 4 halls, a huge undertaking by the Abu Dhabi government there. And the whole process takes a couple of hours. Some people are known to have taken a little while longer. You go in, you register. If you haven't registered online, you can do it as soon as you get there. That's no problem at all. And then you go through a series of very, very simple physical tests and blood tests and heart rate tests and things like that, just to see if you're eligible. And And then you go into the actual process where they do take a COVID-19 test. So I will get that result as well, hopefully within 24 hours. And then eventually, if they accept you and they think you're a viable option, they give you the vaccine, which they did in my arm.
Wonderful. And hopefully that will be a negative test, Clues. Tell us a little bit about concerns of repercussions after taking the vaccine. Do you have any?
It all kind of happened so fast. We made the decision spontaneously. My wife also did it this morning with me as well. So we didn't really think it through in that kind of way. It just felt like the right thing to do, to be a part of something that could be very significant, obviously not for the UAE as well, for the entire globe. Looking to the future, we're going to be monitored a lot. I'm expecting to get a phone call tomorrow from the team, and then we have to go back in a week, and we have a little chart that we have to fill out all the way through. If there's any symptoms at all, headaches or sore throat or larger, more significant, serious side effects as well. So you do feel safe that all the way through this process you're going to be monitored and checked and kept safe.
Absolutely, and a huge comfort in the fact that the most senior UAE health officials were the first to take the vaccine. Thanks so much for joining us, Clues. I hope to see you on set soon reading the sports. Okay, taking a look at the global COVID-19 numbers now. There are over 18.8 million people infected around the world. That's according to Johns Hopkins University, who say more than 708,000 people have died from the virus. The U.S. has the highest number of infections at over 4.8 million and a death toll of over 158,000. Brazil has more than 2.8 million cases and over 97,000 fatalities. India is the third worst affected country with over 1.9 million infections and close to 41,000 deaths. Russia is next with 870,000 cases and more than 14,000 deaths. And South Africa rounds off the top 5 hardest hit countries in the world with over 521,000 infections and over 9,000 deaths. Abu Dhabi's Yas Island has been awarded the coveted World Travel and Tourism Council Safe Travel Stamp. This marks the capital's first entertainment destination to receive the international honor. As part of the new normal world of COVID-19, the Global Hygiene Stamp is awarded to major holiday spots. It enables travelers to identify destinations and businesses that have adopted the global health and safety measures. COVID-19 tests are now a reality for anyone planning to travel. That's why one luxury hotel in Dubai has decided to make things easier for guests by introducing in-house coronavirus tests. The Waldorf Astoria Dubai International Financial Center has partnered with Burjeel Hospital to give guests at the 5-star property the option of booking a COVID test that will be carried out in the comfort of their hotel room. The service allows any guest who needs a COVID test for upcoming travel or simply for peace of mind to book a test as easily as they might order room service. Ajman municipality will allow shisha cafes to reopen on August 9th following strict precautionary measures against COVID-19. Frequently touched surfaces and common areas will be cleaned and disinfected at least once every hour. These include shared objects each time they're used, like handrails, slides, tubes, lockers, counters, and toilets. Shisha staff must adhere to strict hand washing routines before and after service. All staff and customers must pass through temperature screening before entering the facility. Only disposable shisha hoses can be used, and all reusable shisha parts will be cleaned and disinfected before and after each client. At a minimum of 4 people are allowed to sit at one table. In other news, and staying with Ajman, 1,000 stores have been destroyed in an Ajman souk after a huge blaze broke out last night. The fire is believed to have started at the Iranian souk near Ajman Specialty Hospital and a fruit and vegetable market. No casualties were reported. The souk has been closed for several months because of COVID-19 safety measures. The medical center was evacuated as a precautionary measure as raging fire sent thick plumes of smoke billowing into the sky. The souk is home to many traders and is a popular attraction. Ajman Civil Defense say the blaze was brought under control at about 9 p.m. with the assistance of personnel from Dubai, Sharjah, and Al Quwain. The cause of the fire is still unknown. It was 100 stores, not 1,000 stores affected in that fire. Now, nearly 14,000 motorists in Abu Dhabi were fined for tailgating during the first 6 months of this year. Abu Dhabi police say drivers were caught by traffic patrols and smart radars for not leaving enough distance between vehicles. Earlier this year, the police rolled out a new smart system that uses radars to catch tailgaters and fines both front and rear vehicles under the tailgating offense. Offenders receive a fine of 400 dirhams and 4 traffic points. Dubai has launched a new smart system that can verify travel documents and detect fake papers. The digital encyclopedia called Dubai e-Document System contains information on all kinds of travel documents issued from several different countries. Officials say the system will improve the UAE's security and digital infrastructure, as well as strengthen the nation's global reputation. Similar systems are also being used in the Netherlands, Canada, the US, and Australia. A homegrown favorite among residents and tourists, this year's edition of Dubai Summer Surprises features more promotions and attractions packed into a fun-filled weekend. Amal Al-Jabri has the details.
Amazing bargains and exciting entertainment, as well as attractive deals and promotions across the Emirates, have collectively made Dubai Summer Surprises a wonderful experience for residents and visitors alike of all ages. Among this year's weekend attractions, irresistible deals and offers for shoppers are big savings, promotions and chances to win incredible prizes, including luxury cars, as well as cash prizes at raffle draws across participating malls in Dubai, such as Mall of Emirates, Festival City, Dubai Mall and City Walk. And as parents shop, their children can enjoy a safe and entertaining getaway at a summer camp in Mirdif City Centre. Food lovers can discover the secrets of Asian, Latin and European cuisine as they learn the art of cooking through the DSS Chef Masterclasses virtual sessions. Of course, DSS wouldn't be complete without the beloved Motesh. The children's favorite character and his new best friend Dana will be appearing at Dubai Festival City Mall until tomorrow, performing numerous routines and interacting with their audience. Fitness is also included in the attractions as part of the weekly Flash Fit Thursday and Friday activations. Ibn Battuta Mall has partnered up with Fitness First to host 2 unique fitness challenges where families and friends can kickstart the weekend with a fun and challenging workout. And speaking of icons, fans of the legendary singer Kulthum can enjoy her hologram concert at Dubai Opera until 8th August. The mesmerizing show combines live music and cutting-edge technology, as some of her most popular songs are showcased with a live orchestra, making it a truly beautiful spectacle. The unique concept, which wowed crowds earlier this year at the 25th edition of Dubai Shopping Festival, has been a major attraction for music lovers, celebrating one of the region's most beloved female singers. The 23rd edition of Dubai Summer Surprises runs until 29th August, with a full calendar of events available on DubaiSummerSurprises.com and at DSS Social. Amal Al-Jabri, Emirates News.
Okay, it's time for a short break, but stay with us here on Emirates News. The business is next, and Etihad Airways says it aims to increase worldwide flights to half of its pre-COVID levels by September. That and more business, plus the sport, after this short break.
Dubai Channels presents Ring to Win competition, new season, and new winners. 7 MG cars from Yusuf Motors. Send more messages to increase your chances of winning with Dubai Channels. You might be 1 SMS away from winning. To subscribe, send join to these numbers.
Welcome back to Emirates News. Our top story tonight, the Abu Dhabi Crown Prince today directed that emergency medical aid be dispatched to Lebanon to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. The medical aid comprises 12 tons of testing devices and medical supplies to support medical workers. And it's time now for the business. Etihad Airways has reported $1.7 billion in operating revenues for H1 and says it aims to increase worldwide flights to half of its pre-COVID levels by September. The carrier has recorded a strong start to 2020 with the airline progressing well ahead of its transformation plan targets. It reported a 58% drop in passengers during the first half of 2020. Etihad says it flew 3.5 million passengers in the first half as a result of the closure of international borders and the suspension of flights to and from the UAE from March 24th. Etihad says despite a record first quarter performance with 34% year-on-year improvement due to the COVID-19 fallout, it saw a 38% drop in revenues. Officials say they're optimistic that as international borders reopen, Etihad will increase flying and carry more guests securely and with greater peace of mind. Earnings season is upon us, and Abu Dhabi National Insurance Company has posted a remarkable set of numbers for the first half of 2020. Their profits are up 60% to 190 million dirhams, despite having to battle the COVID-19 pandemic. But investment income saw a 30% decline, brought on by market volatility arising from the pandemic. Meanwhile, Dubai-based logistics firm Emirates reported a 23% drop in their Q2 profit. The company was expecting figures, saying it was due to several unforeseen costs prompted by the global onslaught of COVID-19. Profits came in at 94 million dirhams for the quarter, and overall shipment volumes grew by 26% following a surge in e-commerce activities resulting from increased online shopping during COVID-19 related lockdown. Emirates also reported increased demand for healthcare-related shipments, and its domestic business grew by 31% to 336 million dirhams for the same period. And the numbers keep coming, with Bank seeing a slight first half net profit decline. The numbers were down 44.7% to 307 million dirhams as compared to the first half of 2019 due to higher regulatory provisions set aside to combat COVID-19. That said, bank officials were happy with the overall performance for the first half, calling them solid in light of the uncertainties created by the pandemic. Spending habits of consumers and businesses overall have been subdued in recent months. This is reflected in the bank's gross loans and advances, which have dropped by 2.2% year on year. Abu Dhabi's Tawazun Economic Council will build a satellite center in collaboration with Airbus and the National Space Science and Technology Center from UAE University. The center will be responsible for manufacturing components of small and medium navigation satellites, in addition to assembling, integrating, and testing these devices. Tawazun will begin operations at the AIT Satellite Center at the beginning of next year. As part of the collaboration, Airbus will support the center during the design, outfitting, and commissioning of the facility. Toronto is the next stop for Emirates Airlines A380 services. The flagship aircraft will be deployed on flights to the Canadian city from August 16th. It will fly 5 times a week from Dubai. Flight EK241 to Toronto will depart Dubai at 9:10 a.m. and arrive at 3 p.m. local time, while the return flight EK242 will depart Toronto at 9:45 p.m. and arrive in Dubai at 6:30 p.m. local time the following day. This takes Emirates A380 network to 6 cities. The others are Amsterdam, Cairo, Paris, London, Heathrow, and Guangzhou. Gold continues to be the big story of the week. Gold prices continued their bullish trend today after breaching the $2,000 psychological barrier yesterday. They hit a new peak of $2,041 per ounce today before dropping back a little towards the end of trade. The run is being attributed to the fact that investors are looking for safe haven assets amid uncertainty over the ongoing pandemic. And it might well continue, with market insiders suggesting that gold will sustain its upward trend in the wake of a weak dollar and falling U.S. Treasury yields. Bullion is up more than 30% this year. To sport now, and golf first, and the first major of the Race to Dubai season is underway in the U.S. Due to the pandemic, golf suffered as much as any other sport, and all events had to be cancelled or rearranged. The PGA Championship is now the first of only 3 majors this season, with the U.S. Open and the Masters due to be staged in the next 2 months. The 4th major, the British Open, has been cancelled entirely for 2020. The PGA Championship has naturally attracted the world's best players, and for some of them, the fact that there won't be thousands of fans around the course won't make a huge amount of difference.
It's different than, most of the times when you go from green to tee, people yelling or trying to touch you. That part is different. As far as energy, while I'm competing and playing, no, that's the same. I'm pretty intense when I play and pretty into what I'm doing.
Football, and with the new domestic league season in the UAE now under 30 days away, clubs are allowed to train as a group as long as they adhere to social distancing and health and safety protocols. Al Wahda club in Abu Dhabi posted a video of their players working out together in the club gym while sticking to the safety guidelines. Last week, it was announced that the new Arabian Gulf League season will start on September 9th, a week after the Arabian Gulf Cup gets underway. And 2 other neighboring clubs in Abu Dhabi have shown some preseason sportsmanship by agreeing a loan move of one of the last season's most prolific strikers. Al Dhafra club have agreed a season-long loan deal with Banias club for their Brazilian striker Joe Pedro. Pedro made a huge difference to Al Dhafra last season, scoring 12 goals in his 17 appearances for the club. But he has now been sent to their closest rivals for next season, and Banias publicly tweeted their thanks to Al Dhafra for the deal, which is not a common thing in the usually cutthroat world of professional football. And one of the country's most prominent football academies has announced it has reopened for business at a new venue. The La Liga Academy has opened registrations for the forthcoming season for 4 to 17-year-olds, boys and girls. The Spanish Academy will welcome to the new influx of students at their new home in Dubai Sports City. The Academy has been running for 3 years and has already helped 2,000 young players learn to play football the La Liga way. Those interested can now visit the La Liga Academy website to register on a first-come, first-served basis. For the 300 or so athletes who have signed up for Ski Dubai's upcoming snow run, the organizers have provided a little video to help prepare the right clothing. The snow run on the 14th of this month is part of the Dubai Snow Weekend venue in the Mall of the Emirates. The run itself will be 3 kilometers down and up the indoor ski slope itself. Along with this handy advice on what to wear, Ski Dubai also announced that they've now reached the capacity for entrance and can't accept any more applications. The Olympic Rings monument installed in Tokyo Bay for the 2020 Summer Games was temporarily removed for maintenance today and will return in December when Japan heads into the final stretch of preps for the rescheduled event. The Olympics were pushed back by a year in March due to COVID-19. The monument, which was installed 7 months ago, will be cleaned and will undergo a safety inspection before being reinstalled. Meanwhile, organizers are hoping to have a better idea by the end of this year as to whether the Games can go ahead in Tokyo next year amid continuing concerns about COVID-19. And finally tonight, Hiroshima has marked the 75th anniversary of the world's first atomic bombing. The attack took the lives of 140,000, an estimated population of 350,000 for the end of 1945. With Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in attendance, as usual, city officials decided to hold their ceremony with strict precautions in place, with the overall attendance scaled back to less than 10% of usual. Entrance was limited, and only survivors and their families could attend the memorial ceremony itself. At 8:15 a.m. on August 6, 1945, an American warplane dropped a bomb that obliterated Hiroshima. Today, at the exact time the bomb exploded, the crowd stood for a moment of silence and the peace bell rang. Okay, and on that we end tonight's program. Follow us at Dubai One TV and at Emirates_News. Do continue to join us for our COVID-19 briefs throughout the day, as well as our regular 7:30 p.m. bulletins. Emirates News will be back again on Sunday. See you then. Good night.